everyone. This is like the third time I'm talking to you, so you must know. I just wish to say thank you very much to the portfolio of the Civil Service for inviting me to be the Master of Ceremonies this afternoon. My name is Suzanne Bothwell, for those of you who do not know me. And for those of you who I do know, it's very good to see you again. Before we move forward with the formal program of tonight's ceremony, I would like to ask that you to give a big round of applause to Mr. Earl Lapierre and his UCCI Pandemics Steel Pan Band for their outstanding performance. I'd like to welcome His Excellency, the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper, and Mrs. Roper. Thank you for coming. Honorable Deputy Governor Franz Manderson, Honorable Minister Roy MacTaggart, Chief Officer Mrs. Gloria Macfield Nixon, host of today's ceremony, and her husband, Mr. Michael Nixon, President of the Cayman Islands Civil Service Association, Mr. John Bothwell, Chief Officers, Heads of Department, HR professionals, other senior managers, nominees for this year's Deputy Governor's Award, Chief Officers' Choices, ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity to recognize the Honorable Deputy Governor, Mr. Franz Manderson, who has a deep passion for this program. He has remained committed to participating and lending his personal support to tonight's nominees. We are here to celebrate the contributions of Employees of the Month, covering the months of January to December 2018. They are finalists and nominees for the Employee of the Year Award. Most of you will be aware that some of the changes made to the Deputy Governor's Award program, which commenced in 2018, was in keeping with the aligned goals of the 5-year strategic plan. These are the goals of delivering outstanding customer service, developing exceptional leadership, pursuing excellence in talent development, fostering effective communication, and demonstrating excellence in governance practice. The new nominees process now allows for any level of civil servant to nominate a civil servant as long as the head of department or chief officer endorses and supports the nomination. What a wonderful change that we can all participate in this event. With this change, we now see 3 nominations for managers to be included in the Deputy Governor's Awards program. Thank you, Deputy Governor, and for the group who did this, because I think this allows us to come together as a team and to celebrate each other's achievements. To get to this point, the finalists were nominated by their chief officers, heads of department, or a fellow civil servant, followed by being selected as the persons who were best representing the ministry portfolio for that month. They received the Chief Officer's Choice Awards. The Deputy Governor reviewed the nominees for Chief Officer's Choice for a given month and made his selection for Employee of the Month Award. Tonight, we will identify the Employee of the Year. This person will receive a cash prize of $1,000, an engraved award, and a framed certificate to identify him or her as Employee of the Year. Additionally, he or she will have a platform to share the various speaking engagements and to discuss why they celebrate being a civil servant and to espouse the values of the civil service. Tonight's nominees come from diverse backgrounds, jobs, and departments. We will be showcasing 12 brilliant civil servants. And tonight marks the 6th year of the Deputy Governor's Awards program. At this juncture, we will stand for the national anthem. The national anthem will be performed by an instrumental by Mr. Earl Lapierre and the UCCI Pandemic Steel Pan Band. Thank you very much, Mr. Lapierre and students. I will ask you to remain standing for the national song, which will be sung by Tamara Davis, our own civil servant, and usually and traditionally a civil servant sings this song. She will be singing the first verse and a chorus of our national song in a cappella.
Please join me, in singing the chorus. O land of so fresh breezes, a verdant tree so fair, with the Creator's glory reflected everywhere. O sea of palest emeralds, merging to darkest blues. Whene'er my thoughts fly Godward, my heart think of you. Dear verdant island set in blue Caribbean Sea, I'm coming, coming very soon, oh, beauteous out to thee. Although I wander far, my heart enshrines thee yet. Homeland fair Cayman Isle, I cannot thee forget.
Thank you very much, Ms. Davis, and thank you for the audience for joining in on our national song. I would now like to call Mr. John Bothwell, President of the Civil Service Association, to say and offer a prayer. Thank you.
Please bow your heads or be respectful for the prayer. Dear God and Father, we praise and glorify you. We know that you want your people in these Cayman Islands to prosper, and we thank you for your help in our work and for choosing civil servants like tonight's nominees to be a part of your grand plan. We thank you for the knowledge and wisdom and bravery and the dedication and serenity that you bestow on us each day, as exemplified in these nominees here tonight. Thank you for helping our nominees tonight and the rest of the civil service overcome the daily trials put before us in our work and in our personal lives. Continue to bless us, we pray, Holy Spirit, as we go forth through the coming year. May we always act as if you were looking over our shoulder. Continue to bless our governor and deputy governor with the acumen they need for their roles. Continue to bless our chief officers and directors with agile minds, our managers and workers with steady hearts, our frontline staff with patience. And thank you for continuing to bless our Cayman Islands with outstanding civil servants, such as the ones we celebrate here tonight. Lord Jesus, you have filled our hearts with desire not for personal glory, but to do great things for our people and our country. Continue to bless the work of the civil service and may it remain pleasing to you and our compatriots. Thank you for granting us, especially our nominees tonight, the wisdom and the knowledge and strength of character to do what is good and true and right all the days of our lives. In the examples of these nominees tonight, we feel your presence working for the people of the Cayman Islands, and we thank you for them. Dear God, you promise us that those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. May those who organized tonight's event and the nominees we honor be refreshed in spirit as their actions tonight and over the last year now refresh us. We dedicate this next year to the Cayman Islands, the people we serve, and to thy honor and glory. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Bothwell, for that inspiring prayer. I would now like to invite His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper, to say a few remarks.
Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I've asked to be brief, so I will say sort of three things very briefly. And I can feel the excitement and the anticipation building, because I understand this is the equivalent of the Oscars for the civil service. So I'm looking forward to that myself. So it is a real pleasure to be here for my first Deputy Governor's Awards, and really looking forward to the evening. Secondly, I do just want to pay my own tribute to our Deputy Governor. I've worked closely with him over the last 4.5 months, and he is a truly and genuinely inspiring leader. And I think we can all learn so much from his positive attitude, can-do, solution-focused, customer-focused approach to everything. And we think France is so special that we're even bringing His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales all the way to the Cayman Islands to award him his MBE next week. So let's give a big hand to our Deputy Governor. Finally, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you for the incredible support I've had as Governor since arriving. And I've met so many highly talented people in the civil service who I know are genuinely committed to delivering a world-class civil service. I'm a great believer in everybody being a leader wherever they work, at whatever level in an organization. Every individual person has an impact on others, whether it's in their team or whether it's externally. So that's what we want. We want everybody to be a leader and to have that impact to create a world-class civil service. So thank you all very much. Looking forward to tonight greatly, and enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your support of the civil service and the Deputy Governor. Now, you would think this is the highlight, but it is a highlight because our very special Deputy Governor is going to be coming on stage right now to say a few remarks. Mr. Manderson.
Well, good evening, everyone. And unlike the Oscars, we have a host. Yes, because we're a little bit better, aren't we? But it is a real pleasure for me to be here, and I know protocol has been established, but do allow me to recognize His Excellency and Mrs. Roper and our Minister of Finance. It's always good when the Minister of Finance is here. Yes. But thank you, Governor, for all of your support that you have given me these last 4 months. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with you, and I have no doubt we are going to achieve some great things together. So I have had many difficult tasks in my career, but trying to make a decision on one person this evening has been the most difficult. It has taken me 2 days. I have slept on it. I have woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning and read over the nominations again, talked about it, thought about it, and then I've made my decision. But I want everyone to know that all 12 of our monthly winners are just that. They're winners. There's really no losers tonight. As I read their nomination, looked at their videos, it was so inspiring to hear their stories, how they have made people's lives better, how they have carried out our vision, our purpose, our mission. For the rest of their time in the civil service, they are all going to be role models, people that civil servants can look up to, read about, and be inspired. So to those 12 superstars, I want to sincerely thank all of you for what you have done, for your absolutely superb performance in 2018. And I know you've been doing this same job for many years. And of course, the challenge is to continue to do your job as we push along to be a world-class civil service. And people ask me, Mr. Manderson, how can you be so positive? And how can you be so passionate? You know, your job is difficult. But the reason it is, the reason that I can be positive and I can say that every day is excellent, amazing, or fantastic, is because I am surrounded every day by an amazing team of civil servants. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. When Ms. Gloria and her team submitted to me a vision of being a world-class civil service, we had been trying to find exactly the right words. It took me exactly 3 seconds to say, that's it. And the reason why I am so confident that we can be a world-class civil service is because of the people that I work with. I've been in the civil service from the time I was 16 years old. You see I got a little gray hairs now? So it's been around a long time. But from then until today, I have been surrounded by amazing civil servants who risk their lives, who work extra hours, who go out of their way, who genuinely care about the success of our government, the success of our islands. That is what inspires me, and that is what allows me to be excellent, amazing, and fantastic. We are all surrounded by great individuals. I have many in my office. My superstar PA is here, Ms. Tanisha, who makes my life easier every day. And every day I get messages and telephone calls about positive things that are happening in the civil service. And that was not always the case. Not so long ago, I got some emails saying, Mr. Manderson, what's going on? I can't get this. Nobody answers the phone. Not today. The vast majority of the messages I get are absolutely positive. Today, I got an email sent to Ms. Ahern, and it was, this is how the person started off the email. Thank you. It said, I would like to express my appreciation to Ms. Laurel McLean, who assisted my family in February 2019 with vault payments, which at that time was a sudden expense to our family because someone in her family had passed away and she needed to have a burial plot. That's serious. Somebody had just had a sudden loss. The civil service came to the rescue. Ms. McLean took the time out of her busy schedule to acknowledge my call, and I was treated with love, care during the telephone conversation. You can say that love is not expressed as a civil servant. Well, I can truly say that I was treated with love that particular day. Mrs. McLean went on by informing Ms. Iris Phillips of arranged payments before I came into the Department of Environment. Mrs. Iris Phillips welcomed me with a smile that lit up the room while conducting the transaction. Love, care, smiles. This is what we do as a civil servant. We have these amazing effects on people. I have great stories of us working together along with the passport office. Ms. Janice McLean is here, and I want to say a special thank you to her and her team at the passport office. Working together, we were able to naturalize a lady in one day, issue a passport to her, same day, so that she could get to Florida and save her eyesight. That is the kind of effect. That is the kind of dramatic effect that we have on people's lives. It's a great privilege to be a civil servant. Yesterday, I saw an email from the Chief Officer in Community Affairs, the NAU, commending them on their spectacular performance on the Happy or Not. There was a time when they were not doing that well. Well, they are now rising to the top. It is because people care. No one wants to go to NAU, but they have now working hard to make that a pleasant experience. Mr. Matthew, I think you're here. Thank you and your team, Mr. Morrow, for all that you do. So yes, I have good reason to be excellent, amazing, and fantastic. And I've just shared those few stories with you. So I am proud to lead this organization. I'm proud to work with so many of you. Yes, the 12 of you made my job very difficult, but I forgive you, and I pray that the rest of this evening will be absolutely amazing and fantastic. So thank you.
Mr. Manderson, thank you very much for those honest and inspiring remarks. I think our takeaway is that we all have stories. We just have to give them a voice. And we will see that we do make a difference in people's lives, that we are here today as civil servants because we have a passion to serve the people of the Cayman Islands. I would now like to call on Ms. Aubrey Bodden and Ms. Tristica Ebanks. These stalwart ladies, inspiring ladies, and they're making me feel so old. Come on up, come on up. Make me feel so old because I remember when they joined the civil service. They are our employees of the year for 2016 and 17. And this is the first time we've had two such great and outstanding employees in 1 year that we had to give 2 awards in that year. It was only going to be fair. They served for 18 months and not the usual 12. And they're here to talk about their experience of being employees of the year and how they inspired other civil servants to do their best. Come on up, ladies.
Thank you, Mrs. Bothwell and everyone. It's been an honor to be recognized under the Deputy Governor's Award program. It's a privilege to work every day to make lives better. And as civil servants, caring about the Cayman Islands and our people is an important, it's a critical part of how we need to all carry out our duties, our roles. That passion is what ensures that we achieve government's policy priorities, that we achieve the broad outcomes, and that we deliver for our people. Each of the 12 employees of the month who are up for the Deputy Governor's Award tonight have demonstrated incredible commitment. Your nominations are due to your contributions in one of the goal areas of our 5-year strategic plan, and we can only become a world-class civil service if every single employee is committed to making our best business as usual and understands that every single one of us has a key role to play in achieving that vision. By showcasing our exceptional employees, the Deputy Governor's Award program shares your stories in a meaningful way, and the videos tonight are going to demonstrate what we can accomplish when we strive to be our best. This annual ceremony is also an opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate some of the amazing work that is being done across our diverse organization, to recognize the incredible civil servants behind that work, and to inspire all civil servants to achieve their highest potential. So congratulations to the 12 nominees tonight.
Good evening. Protocol already established, it is with a humble heart that I stand before you to recap one of the greatest honors so far in my life. The last year has brought opportunities, new adventures, and connected me to a lot of individuals who continue to inspire me. I have been privileged to attend various events and be a representative for our civil service and sharing true Cayman kind. One phrase I've heard a lot of lately is, "Huyafa." We think this relates to our parents or our family members, but it is really the foundation of our legacy. Each of you exemplify what your legacy is or will be. You show passion, commitment to a job which you love. You go above and beyond for our country and our people. You give endless sacrifices for a brighter future, ensuring that it is much better than our past, but never forgetting who you are and our journey while staying true to yourselves. We together make it the difference we want to see in the world by supporting one another, giving back to our community, and never forgetting our neighbors. These are just some of the small things which will make a big difference. I encourage you to use this opportunity to be a better you, and always stay true to yourself, never stop being awesome, and disbelieve the negative opinions because it doesn't get any better than you. You are the reason why we have a world-class civil service, one which can never be duplicated. Well, they can try, but it just really won't be the same, so we'll leave it there. Create the foundation you want for your legacy. Surround yourself with positive people, build yourself and bring others with you, and don't be afraid of being different. Be afraid of being the same. Remember, you are world-class and becoming better. A draft snapshot of my legacy looks a little like this. My name is Tristica Ebanks. I am the daughter of Tina and Mitchell, two amazing individuals. I live in the jewel of the Caribbean, mom to an amazing little girl who sparkles, sister, aunt, niece, granddaughter, and friend. One who is committed, compassionate, fair, and never gives up. Works with an amazing team and looks forward to new adventures, always around the corner. Thank you to the Honorable Deputy Governor, my awesome family, both professionally and personally. I am blessed and thankful to have you in my life. To everyone who has supported and continue to support, believe, and push me, I love you. I dedicate this to you because without you, there would be no me. To the next recipient of this prestigious honor, always remember, you are not here to be average. You are here to be awesome and be that change you wish to see in the world. But above all, my advice to you, do yourself proud, do your family proud, and most of all, do your country proud. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aubrey and Tristica. You know, it is such a pleasure that we can stand here today, and we have those of you in the audience who have probably been here almost 40 years. DG, are you one of those, almost 40? You know, I work with a staff member. She's been working for 34 years. And every day she comes with a smile and she's glowing and she's passionate. And I thank the portfolio of the civil service and all of those who worked on the articulation of who we are as civil servants. We finally now have our language. We finally know why we do what we do. We do it to make people's lives better. And we must be brave. We must bring those who are not sure, bring those who are absolutely refusing, because guess what? They have not seen the light. Because we are drinking the Kool-Aid because the Kool-Aid is real, right? The Kool-Aid is real. And so we have a lot of work to do. It's a 5-year strategic plan. The first goal is to deliver outstanding customer service, not just good customer service, not just average customer service, not just customer service sometimes, not just customer service to those outside, but also to our peers in our offices, to those who work in different quarters of the civil service, to those who are overseas. Because the civil service, as Tristica said, is the best. And the others can try, but they won't get there. So we have a little competition running. So I would now like to invite, excuse me for a second. Oh dear, I actually have to call Tristica. You all ran off too quickly, that's why I'm confused. Tristica and Aubrey. Can I call you back on stage, please? So I would like for them to come back on stage, and I'd also like for the previous award winners to stand in the audience. And these are Nicholas McLean, winner of the 2012-2013 award. Ms. Venice Tatum, winner of the 2013-2014 award. Winner, Ms. Gidget Powell, 2014 and 2015 award. And winner, Mr. Philbert McFarlane, 2015-2016 award. Absolutely fantastic that we have. And our last winners, and our winners to be, we're so glad for you, for what you've done to inspire us, for you to continue to be ambassadors of what is an outstanding civil servant, what a civil servant looks like. And we thank you for your hard work. And we know that your task is going to be, your task is great. I don't envy you, but I know you all can handle it. You all can handle it because you're brave people. Thank you so much. I would like to now invite the Honorable Deputy Governor to make a presentation, please. This presentation is in recognition to the Ministry of Human Resources and Immigration for submitting a monthly nomination form in 2018. In fact, they have won this award for several years. They are the ones to beat. We must make special mention of Brianna Day Ebanks, the Chief HR Officer. Brianna, are you here? She's off. We make special mention to her for her dedication in making sure she participates in this program. This ministry deserves a resounding round of applause, as this is an awesome achievement. So I'm kindly asking Mr. Wesley Howell, the Chief Officer for the ministry, please, to receive the award. Thank you, Wesley, and thank you, Mr. Manderson. In recognition of the Chief Officer's Choices 2018, whilst these officers were not recognized as the Employee of the Month, some were extremely close to being declared the winner by the Deputy Governor. So they are bright shining stars in their own right. So to those of you who did not make Employee of the Month, keep it up. You are stars. You are our outstanding staff members. We ask all recipients of the Chief Officer's Choices in the audience tonight to please stand so that we might offer you a round of applause for your contribution as a sterling example of what being a civil servant is all about. Wonderful. Thank you very much. We will move along the program. At this juncture, I'd like to invite Mrs. Gloria Macfield, Chief Officer for the Portfolio of the Civil Service, to come and talk to us about moments of magic.
Good evening, everyone. Protocol having been established, please just allow me to say what a privilege it is to be here today and talk about having to be agile on our feet. This is what the civil service is all about, right? So it is my distinct pleasure to talk about one of our Chief Officer Choice winners. When we talk about recognizing excellence and we look at our values of passion, integrity, and professionalism, the honorees that we have recognized and stood up this evening and that we've given a round of applause, a much-deserved round of applause, they are being honored not because of just one act of particular customer service or one act of being able to demonstrate leadership or one act of demonstrating good governance or one act of demonstrating a commitment to talent development. For these individuals, this is really a lifelong, career-long commitment, and they really stand out because they exemplify what it means to be world-class. And we have an extraordinary example of one of our Employee of the Months who just this past week did it again. This individual, when we talk about being nimble on our feet, typically the way that we talk about this person exemplifying that is he's referred to as the dancing policeman. So he has taken being nimble on his feet to literal extremes. And if you've ever seen him downtown, he is something to behold. I mean, the hands are going, the feet are going, there's a constant smile, and he is organizing absolute chaos and doing it with such joy that just spreads. But this individual wasn't content just to continue to demonstrate his excellence in the ways that he contributes to his work every single day of helping to keep people safe. Upon experiencing a couple that was coming off the cruise ship. Now, this couple hailed originally from Las Vegas, so the capital, marriage capital of the US. But upon sailing into the Cayman Islands port, this couple decided they wanted to be married here in Cayman, wrapped up in Cayman kindness. So they approached our dancing policeman, auxiliary constable Fabian O'Connor, and they told him they wanted to be married. And he told them, well, congratulations. But as it turned out, they hadn't done anything to be married, but they were committed to making sure they were able to exchange their vows while they were here in Cayman. And so Fabian, ever agile on his feet, sprung into action, going above and beyond the call of duty. So Fabian helped this couple to be able to get to the passport office where excellence was met with further excellence. And that team sprung into action to help him obtain their first sort of marriage license. But then they encountered another problem. One of the persons in the marriage had been through a divorce, and they had proof of that right on their phone, but as it turned out, that wasn't going to be enough just to have an electronic copy. They needed to have a validated, certified copy that was witnessed by a justice of the peace. But as it turned out, Fabian had just been through some customer service training that was delivered by a member of the portfolio of the Civil Service, Mr. Peter Goff, who is himself a JP, and Fabian put the two and two together, and he went about, still very light on his feet, and he found Peter. And Fabian was able to get affidavits and get the copies certified, but then the couple realized that they actually didn't have a marriage officer. I mean, they were the epitome of prepared. We're praying for this union, but it is wrapped in love. And so, again, ever quick on his feet, Fabian, Auxiliary Constable Fabian, was able to get in touch with Pastor Oral McLaughlin, and the couple was able to be married at Smith Cove. But as it turned out, they needed a best man. Still on his feet. Fabian rose to the occasion. And I'm happy to say that we have been able to make a moments of magic through that entire experience, allowing someone to sail into our shores and to sail out thinking about what a wonderful place this is and how many civil servants they encountered who were committed to creating moments of magic and exemplifying Cayman kindness. So many departments that rose to the challenge, but it all began because of one officer who said, "I can." I would like to invite to the stage Auxiliary Constable Mr. Fabian O'Connor. Our dancing policeman, an ambassador for Cayman kindness and helping people get married and enjoy our tourism product. And as it turns out, if you're ever in a tight spot and you need a best man, he is literally our best man. Congratulations, sir. And this is the Deputy Governor's Award for creating moments of magic.
Good night, everyone. I am the dancing policeman. The magician, of course. But first, I must give thanks to God Almighty himself, and thank all the leaders in government, all the leaders in the RCIPs, all the leaders in the streets, because all of you are leaders, because you all are family members, most of you are parents, and you're all leaders. And Cayman is a land of diversity, and anything that you're doing and you don't have the passion for it, it makes no sense. And I truly love Cayman Islands. I love the people. We have over 125 different nationalities here, and all of you are special. And I thank you all, and I thank you for this award. It is indeed a surprise. This is like Christmas. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
And as Auxiliary Constable Mr. O'Connor and I take our seat, we do have a brief video to show of this remarkable individual. Fingers crossed. Thank you, Auxiliary Officer Connor. At this point in time, this is the point in time where we get to learn a little bit about our nominees and their managers who have nominated them. The order will be that each representative will come and say a few words about the special person.
A video clip will be shown in respect of that individual, and then the next person will be called. I'd like to thank Government Information Services for producing tonight's video clips and today's in our presentation. And I would like to call the Director of Public Works Department, Mr. Mac Jones, who will offer remarks on behalf of Mr. Levi Allen.
Protocol being established. Good evening, everybody. Wow, Gloria, you give me a tough act to follow, the dancing policeman. But I think I've got one that can stand up to it, actually. So it's my very great pleasure to introduce the January 2018 Employee of the Month for the Deputy Governor's Awards Program, PWD's Acting Senior Manager, Organizational Development and Operational Support, Mr. Levi Allen. Now, you know, when you're looking for an employee, you're usually trying to find someone who has the experience and the qualifications, yeah, but even more so, you're looking for somebody with the attitude, the motivation, a great team player, communicator, strong customer service, and on it goes. And if you're very fortunate, you find an employee who meets most of those criteria. Very rarely, you'll find an employee who just seems to fulfill all of the criteria. And Levi is one of those rare individuals, a complete, rounded employee who, simply put, ticks all the boxes. And Deputy Governor, I have to tell you, with Levi being such a complete employee, it gave us a couple of challenges to complete the awards nomination form for the Employee of the Month. There's a section on the form where you have to put the most theme for the nominated employee, most efficient, most innovative, etc. And we couldn't think what most it would be to capture the essence of Levi. Most, bestest of everything just didn't quite seem to cut it somehow. So we decided to focus not on the work Levi does in his substantive post, which he carries out to an exceptionally high standard, but to focus more on the myriad of extra things that Levi does for public works, that Levi takes on, which are all completely outside, over and above his regular job. And so we came up with the most theme for Levi, and it was the most to do more, so much more. And this is one of the things that separates Levi from the pack. Levi insists on being involved in absolutely everything that's going on at PWD. And that's a really good thing, because he's always thinking out of the box, looking forward and coming up with amazing ideas on how we can improve PWD. And he's always willing, no, not willing, he's always insistent on taking a lead role in organizing these projects that improve and strengthen PWD and the wider government. The examples of Levi doing more that we used in nominating him, and which he championed and managed, were, number one was his management of the extremely successful PWD apprenticeship program, which is growing in leaps and bounds. And now in its third year, in 2019, the program will provide 30 young Caymanians with the opportunity to gain internationally recognized City and Guilds vocational certificates in construction trades. Great job, Levi. The second one, again, completely outside his normal job, was his work in establishing PWD's group life and accident insurance policy. Around 70 PWD employees are now enrolled in this program and are receiving excellent value on life and accident cover, something that they just did not have before this initiative. And we've actually already had a couple of payouts on the program. Again, excellent job, Levi. And the third was his taking on the additional role as overall project manager of the annual, or actually biannual now, NICE program. His management of that program over recent years has resulted in a hugely more efficient program and has led to several of the NICE workers receiving full-time employment at PWD and elsewhere. So Levi, you're a much loved and highly valued PWD employee, and clearly the most determined to do more. So much more. So please join me in a round of applause for the DG's Employee of the Month for January 2018, Levi Allen.
And now we will watch Levi's video.
Making the lives of those we serve better means to me that everything I do on a daily basis must be outwardly focused. It must be focused on those we consider our clients, both internally and externally. What this means is that we have to get it done right the first time. It means we have to set high standards, world-class standards even, and we have to ensure that we deliver these standards because persons are depending on us for the quality service we provide. The PWD Mentorship Program is a construction industry mentorship program that PWD has developed to benefit not just PWD, but the construction industry and the Cayman Islands in general. We feel that this will benefit the entire country by providing a pool of qualified and skilled technicians who are ready for work in various roles in the construction industry. Traditionally, we have struggled to find Caymanians who can fill some of these key roles. And instead of fussing about it, the department has decided that what we should do is be a part of the solution. And so this program is geared specifically at developing these young talents into workers that are required by the industry and are prepared to deliver at industry standards. In addition, this apprenticeship program has a secondary benefit of ensuring that our staff enhance their skill sets. One of the best ways to master what you know is to actually try to teach it to someone. And by having this apprenticeship program in the department, some of our master technicians have sharpened their skills, and some of our junior technicians are now growing into their own by the process of helping to deliver these skills to youngsters with interest. Why I want to develop the talent around me is that it is often a misconception that persons who hold various roles inherently have the skills, experience, and competencies required to get the job done. This is often a misconception. Persons oftentimes grow into roles or are appointed to roles and still require some development, some improvement of their skills and competencies. Talent development is about finding the right people for the job, but also developing their skills to enhance their ability to do these jobs effectively. In addition, in a very dynamic and changing world, the skills you possess today might not be the skills you need to get your job done effectively tomorrow. And so talent development is a continuous process of ensuring that you have current and relevant skills which enable you to meet the demands of your job on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you, Mr. Jones, and thank you, Levi, for being such a leader, mentor, and teacher to all those young people. I would now like to call Chief Officer Mr. Wesley Howell to offer remarks in respect of the next nominee, Ms. Shanda Reed.
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's my absolute pleasure to be here to speak on behalf of Ms. Shanda. I had to read her job title about 5 times when I got her nomination form because the job title didn't actually fit with any of the things that Shanda has been and continues to do within what is now the work agency. At that time, it was the Immigration Department. So Shanda's primary role is to work on our comm center. The comm center receives calls from the public. On an average week, they're up somewhere around 2,000 to 3,000 calls. So there's a lot of volume coming in. Not all the callers are pleasant. But Shanda's exceptionally pleasant, so she has a way of diffusing the most hostile and irritable caller that's coming through. But she also is a multitasker and a jack of all trades and master of all trades as well. So she's assisting with the boards, she's assisting with the front counter, she's assisting with considering applications. Wherever we need talent, Shanda is there with a smile, with an attitude that's infectious. And it's an absolute pleasure to have received her nomination from her team, recommend her through and have her be selected as the February award winner. So my pleasure to recognize Shanda tonight and hope that she wins, which I'm going to have to repeat a couple of times tonight, but I hope they all win.
Well, immigration department deals with a lot of people. We determine their livelihood. You know, we play a big role in whether a person gets to stay or whether a person has to leave. And I think just having that confidence and being able to help people, I believe that in itself is what will make immigration great. A world-class civil service immigration is going to be full of leadership, customer service, professionalism, and I think a big part of that tool or that change will be communication. I know that in the next 5 years, I believe that all of those core values will be put forth. What I am doing now to ensure that that happens is that I'm putting forth those core values. I'm adding that professionalism, I'm adding that customer service. You know, I'm going for that world-class communication where, you know, anything that's being put forth to the public or internally or just dealing with customers, I am making sure we will have that world-class civil service.
Thank you, Mr. Howell. And thank you, Ms. Reed, for being that voice of calm in a sea of turbulence, for being a young person who is leading at your level and who can inspire us at the top to also lead the way you're leading. I would now like to call the Chief Officer, again, it's you again, come on back up, Wesley. Chief Officer, Mr. Wesley Howell, who will offer remarks on behalf of Ms. Sasha Rankin.
Thank you again. So, Sasha Rankin is one of those employees that heads the department fights over, and I still think they're still fighting over Sasha. She was in the immigration department and went over to the Department of Labor and Pensions, and they're still trying to get her to come back. But Director Bernard Ebanks is quite protective of his superstars. If you take, again, a job title that says Senior Labor Officer and have somebody who is acting in the capacity, in some instances, as a Deputy Director, leading from the middle, encouraging her staff members, taking on roles that used to be shared amongst 5 persons and doing it all by herself, doing it with a smile, without a sick day, always on time, being professional, giving service with high levels of integrity. That's Ms. Rankin. Her Facebook, Deputy Governor's Facebook announcement went out on her DG Award winner, and my phone was on vibrate, and I was in a meeting, and I thought something serious was happening because it just kept vibrating for what seemed like hours on end, and it was people from the community saying, well deserved, well recognized, and it's my absolute pleasure to say we have superstars all around. We have folks that are leading very well from in the middle, and in cases taking on jobs that they don't seem to have time to do. It's the old adage, give the person who's busy some things to do and they'll get it done for you. So, Sasha, absolutely my pleasure to be here to introduce you tonight, and I also hope that you win as well.
Thank you, Officer Howell. Chief Officer Howell. Is this the last one?
No, I have 2 more.
So you see that. You can't leave.
Not next.
All right. So thank you very much. And I also would like to thank Sasha for leading from the middle and for being an inspiration.
My main functions at the Department of Labor and Pensions are seeing clients, be it employees or employers, making sure that the labor law is being in compliance with. I'm also responsible for the monitoring of the registered establishments who have gratuity plans. There are currently over 100 establishments who are registered, so I have that wonderful task of making sure that they are compliant, they are reporting on time, and amendments to the registration, and the new registrations and the deregistrations. In the absence of the Deputy Director, I act as team leader, and those responsibilities is just to make sure that the department operations continues. I'm also assisting with the department's accounts, which is a new function that we recently taken on, and I'm happy to assist with that, although it's outside of my job description. My job impacts my clients because I have to make sure that there's compliance. Now, that means that I do not be impartial. I am very fair across the board, and we have to make sure that the rules of this island is adhered to by employers. I have that sole responsibility to ensuring that any client who walks in the store receive fair treatment. Regardless if you are a domestic helper or if you're a lawyer, you get the same treatment when you walk in those front doors. If you're a Caymanian or you're an expat, again, we treat everybody with equal fairness, so nobody gets any special treatment when you walk in these stores.
I would like to now call the Director of the Department of Commerce and Investment, Mr. Ryan Rajkumar Singh, who will offer remarks in respect of Ms. Watson Jervis, Ms. Mitzi Watson Jervis.
Hi, good night, everyone. It gives me great honor to stand here before you and speak about Mitzi. So I wrote something down quickly so I don't forget what I wanted to say about her. Mitzi is a diligent and considerate manager and a colleague, providing valuable advice and support and assistance in areas of process improvements and customer service. It is important that all civil servants embrace these traits. However, it is critical that managers exhibit and demonstrate these standards daily. Mitzi is a strong advocate and example of this. Today is not enough to just do our jobs and ignore the network of affiliated effects when it comes to offering a public service. Departments cannot function in isolation, and people cannot work in detached seclusion if we are to provide a seamless and efficient product as a single government. There must be real and dynamic interaction and cooperation between related divisions. Mitzi has leveraged her relationships with peers and former colleagues in both the Customs and Immigration Department, as well as other government entities, as such CST and Health Practice Commission, to improve communications and increase mutual interagency cooperative efforts. Her approach has continued to support both DCI obligations as well as those that play integral roles in managing compliance of business-related laws and regulations. She is a positive influence within the department, lobbying and operating within the remit of work smarter, not harder, and is undeterred by setbacks. Her dedication to upgrading the trade and business licensing process, technology, and systems has resulted in increased productivity and improved outputs. It is this type of work ethic that she brings to the DCI and those who interact with her on a daily basis, reminding us that change and the ability to adapt is not only necessary, but vital to improvement and progress. As we work to facilitate and monitor business and economic opportunities, it is key that our employees, and especially our management, are not only aware of the potential impacts, but recognize the contribution of all parties affected and involved. It is in this area that Mitzi shines. She is a compassionate and diligent manager and a dedicated civil servant who embraces challenges with positivity and determination. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rajkumar Singh. And thank you, Mitzi, for do it smarter, not harder. Is that what you said? Do it smarter, not harder, and being able to put vision into action.
Throughout my career, I have been blessed with many great mentors. Two that come to mind is the Collector of Customs, Mr. Pravin Pari, the past Collector of Customs, that is, and my current director, Ryan Rajkumar Singh. These two gentlemen have given me guidance and support, allowed me to build on my career, providing opportunities. Their role model was easy to follow. Believing in their teams, communicating, having open communication with their teams was something that I also modeled as a leader. And I think that the Deputy Governor, in building a world-class civil service, is creating the challenge based on the same principles, passion, integrity, and great communication being the key and the heart of everything we do. For many years, I was employed with the Customs Department before joining DCI. I think that has given me the foundation to build on with communicating effectively with various different businesses. I believe that effective communication is key when dealing with clients, and I think it's those core values that the Deputy Governor has built his challenge around to create a world-class civil service.
Thank you, Ms. Watson-Jervis. And I'm hearing themes here. Leading from where you are, right? Taking vision and making it into action. And the trust that the managers have to allow the employees, you as staff members, to just do your thing. To do your thing. Because they have absolute confidence that they can walk away and they know that you will just run with it. So thank you so much. I would now like to call back my esteemed colleague. I'm just going to get a chair for you, okay? Mr. Howell knows I can tease him. We work very closely together. Come on, Mr. Howell. So I call my esteemed colleague, Mr. Wesley Howard, Chief Officer for Immigration, to say a few remarks in respect to this outstanding employee, Shushan O'Connor.
Hello again. So Shushan's most outstanding quality is customer service, and she works in the Department of Immigration at that time. She's now over at CBC, Customs and Border Control, and is another one of those employees that we have two heads of departments fighting over, and I think they're in a sharing situation at this point. She is that talented. So Shushan not only has the customer care of our customers coming through the doors, but our employees, and they follow her lead with great determination. So much so, I think her move to CBC ended up moving some staff with her. But Shushan rose to an occasion that she set for herself. So last year we had a brainstorming exercise as to how we can go about improving our customer delivery. And for those of you who work in the government admin building or drive across Elgin Avenue, last year we had people waiting outside the Immigration Department hall until they open at 8:30. Sometimes there would be 30, 40, 50 people waiting, depending on the day of the week and the time of the month. So the immigration staff came up with a solution themselves and said, you know what, we're going to let folks come inside at 7:30 when our staff arrives and the security is there. So they can sit in the air conditioning and wait until we open our counters at 8:30. So that was on the 14th of May. On the 16th, 2 days later, Shushan had taken it upon herself to organize the staff on the counter into a rotation so that they could not only open at 7:30, but they started serving customers at 7:30. Totally self-directed by Shushan and supported by the team who volunteered to come in at that point. Nobody asked about comp time or overtime or what was going to happen. They just wanted to deliver great customer service. So 2 days later, they went from letting people in the door at 7:30 to starting to serve people at 7:30. Yesterday, we had the pleasure of escorting the governor through and showing him the headquarters. And Wednesday is an evening that the staff actually work until, well, the doors are open until 7, and it's usually full on 7, and they continue until they finish off with their balancing until 8 or 9. So they start work at 7:30 and finish work at 9 o'clock and come back and do it again on Thursday mornings at 7:30 again. So those folks who think that civil servants are lazy and don't perform, don't know the same civil servants that I do. And Shushan is one of those examples that it doesn't take someone sitting on the 5th floor in a government admin building to push a policy down. They can do it themselves if we just get out of the way and let them get on with it. So Shushan, thank you very much. And I also hope you win.
Thank you, Mr. Howell, and thank you, Ms. O'Connor. I think you are a wonderful example of seeing a challenge and then turning it into an opportunity, and an opportunity that you carry all of your colleagues to literally transform the lives of people to do business earlier. You know, so thank you so much.
I oversee the payables and the receivables section, ensuring that we work in accordance to finance management law and the policies that has been set out by our Chief Financial Officer. I assist the acting financial controller as well with any duties that she may assign from time to time. Counter supervisor, she advised me that they started opening the doors early to let the customers come in and have a seat away, you know, out of the elements. And they were just waiting there until 8:30 to start pulling the tickets. I started thinking, why have the customers just sit in the hall from 7:30 until 8:30 waiting for that hour? They are not doing anything. Why not do something different? Start serving the customers at 7:30. So what I did, I approached the Deputy Chief Immigration Officer, Gary Wong, and said to him, since we already have the customers inside at 7:30, why not start to serve the customers at 7:30? So he told me, go make it happen. And I mean, to my surprise, not really my surprise because I know I had a good team, they all decided to come in that morning. They were even here before 7 o'clock the following morning. So it was just awesome. I want to thank the team for making this possible. Without their support and their willingness to get this done, we would not have been able to deliver such exceptional customer service.
I would now like to call on the head of the HR IRIS section, Cara Anderson Linwood, who will offer remarks in respect of Ms. Best Gold. This is for Ms. Carol Best Gold.
Good evening, everyone. Protocol having been established, it is with great pleasure that I speak to you tonight about our POCS superstar, Ms. Carol Best Gold. I suspect that by now, Carol Best Gold has become a civil service-wide name, and here's why. A job description is one of the most important documents an employee can have. It is the reason an employee exists within an organization, the basis on which they are held accountable, and how they contribute to the success of that organization. Civil servants' roles and contributions extend to the success of the Cayman Islands and its people, and there is no one who takes that more seriously than Ms. Carol. She meticulously examines every single job at every single level in every single profession consistently. Her commitment to quality assurance for each job evaluation is clearly demonstrated during her conversations with internal clients as well as her colleagues. Her obvious passion for her craft is clear based on the amount of extra time she takes to carefully explain the logic and reasoning behind the advice she gives to clients on how to improve their job descriptions. No matter what level or profession, Ms. Carol reviews each job carefully as she contributes toward making the Cayman Islands civil service a world-class civil service. To her, every job is important, and all clients are priorities. As a member of the Strategic and Corporate HR unit of the POCS, Ms. Carol is leading by example to make the lives of those she serves easier by adopting a customer-centered approach. The fact that she is the most experienced job evaluator within the civil service means that at one point or another, almost everyone in this room may have been impacted by the work that she does. Over the last 2 years alone, Ms. Carol worked with various ministries and departments on restructuring activities within the Office of the Ombudsman, the Department of Fire, the Public Works Department, as well as the newly formed Work Department. This work alone resulted in total impact on almost 400 lives. Ms. Carol, our work is endless, and your contribution is priceless. Thank you for your contributions to the civil service, and best of luck to you tonight.
Thank you very much, Ms. Anderson Linwood, and thank you so much, Ms. Ms. Best Gold. You make our lives better by helping us to get through with our job. Now we will watch her video.
Well, the main focus of my job is job evaluation, assisting in job design. There's a number of elements to that, which I'm also involved with in terms of restructuring, reorganization. The main thrust, I suppose, would be in job evaluation, and there are three components that we use in government, and that would be the Hay methodology, which is a point system. And there are three elements to the Hay methodology, and the main three would be the know-how, which includes your knowledge, experience, and skills, and as well as HR, and the what we call management breadth, and then the problem solving, which is how creative do you need to be in doing your role, as well as thinking outside the box. And then the last component would be accountability, the impact of your job, how much freedom do you have to act in your job, and sometimes attached to that would be an allocated budget amount. Job descriptions are the key to any position. They're used for, first of all, an employee need to know what is the expectation, what are they expected to deliver, to do. And so we write job descriptions in order for them to know and be accountable for what they are doing. We also use job descriptions in assessment, annual assessments. They're used for strategic planning in terms of company moving forward, reshuffling of organizations, of roles. They know where they are. So what is the deliverable for an organization, and who are the players that you need? That job description describes that. I have to do my job right, because when a job description is clearly articulated, written properly, that accesses all of what the employee responsibilities are. We can properly grade it and give them the salary that is appropriate for that role. When we're giving employees the appropriate salaries, they can then take care of their families. So that's why I'm passionate about doing my job right and doing it the best I can, because it impacts every single employee and their families.
Thank you, Ms. Bestgold, for doing your best every day. I would now like to call the Director of the Department of Environment, Mrs. Gina Ebanks-Petrie, who will offer remarks in respect of her employee, Mr. Chad Bush.
Good evening, everyone. It's my absolute pleasure this evening to introduce one of the Department of Environment's conservation officers, Chad Bush. This May, Chad is going to be celebrating 4 years with the Department of Environment. And I would say that from the very beginning of his time with us, Chad has thrown his heart and soul into his job. His enthusiasm and his passion for protecting the natural resources and environment of the Cayman Islands is evident in his whole approach and in everything that he does. We were therefore not surprised when Chad won the Deputy Governor's Employee of the Month Award in July last year for developing exceptional leadership. Chad was specifically nominated for the Deputy Governor's Award because of his extraordinary efforts in relation to the protection of our sea turtles during the nesting season last year, which was very long. Sea turtles generally nest at night, and this is when they're most vulnerable to poachers. Given the fact that the number of nesting sea turtles is still extremely low in Cayman, each nesting turtle is enormously important to the overall recovery and health of our sea turtles. In one example from last year's nesting season, Chad spent the evening of the 19th of July into the morning of the 20th of July with a large sea turtle who came ashore to nest. Now, sometimes sea turtles can nest in a matter of minutes, and other times they take hours. So this one took hours, and it also got stuck in the vegetation. So Chad actually had to call for backup to help free her and then safely return her to the sea after she'd nested. Chad spent many such evenings on the beach and then would come in to work the following morning to take up his regular duties during the day. The really exceptional part about this is that Chad received no overtime pay or any compensation for the extra hours that he put in during the long nesting season, and the season ran from April through to about November last year. He voluntarily took on this extra responsibility without being told or asked, and without the expectation or offer of pay or time in lieu. Very simply, Chad did this because he loves his country, his heritage, and he loves his job. Chad is an extremely motivated, engaged employee who exemplifies the civil service values of passion, integrity, and professionalism every day. If he is unsuccessful in winning the Deputy Governor's Employee of the Year award this evening, we at the DOE are all still enormously proud of this unassuming young man. Some of you may have seen our Facebook post this morning bragging about him. And he will always be a winner in our eyes. So good luck, Chad. We're all rooting for you.
Thank you, Chad. And you know, if anybody knows Chad, he's so calm. So who better to help the turtle's nest?
Well, honestly, it completely caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it. I was led into my office, and I actually thought I was in trouble. You know, everyone kind of just stood up there and was just staring at me. And then when I saw the Deputy Governor and Miss Ahern, it kind of clicked as to what was happening. I realized that, and they announced to me that I was the Employee of the Month, and I was just completely surprised, completely caught off guard. I didn't expect it. It just wasn't something that I would have ever expected to get. The National Conservation Law was passed by the government in 2013. The law was put in place to protect Cayman's flora and fauna for future generations. So my job is to enforce the National Conservation Law. Work with the turtle program in the turtle conservation because of the ridiculous amounts of hours that I put in after hours without being paid, yeah? I had to work during the day. I would still go out and spend 5-6 hours every night till 4 o'clock in the morning with the turtle program. So therefore, giving that amount of time without asking for anything back is why I understand I received the award. The reason that I put in a lot of those extra hours, the environment is what I'm passionate about, yeah? This is something I've always been passionate about. The turtle program is really important to me simply because I know, you know, what I know about the turtles. I know that, you know, that 1 in every 1,000 is all that ever makes it back to maturity to reproduce. I know that the turtle lays, she comes and lays on the same beach that her mother laid her on, and her mother. So her 4 mothers have been on this beach long before any of us. And someone taking 1 turtle off of the beach seriously puts a dent in conservation efforts. So me putting in the extra time is simply because love of my country and protecting what I feel needs to be protected for future generations. That's why I put in the many hours with the turtle program.
Thank you so much, Chad. We enjoy our turtles. We are proud to have our turtles. And you know what? What is amazing is we're not hearing the word job and duties. We're hearing that this is a personal investment that employees have in what they do. It's not a job. And you know, that is something that we've always found difficult to explain to people who do not work in the civil service why you're a civil servant. It's because it's not a job. It is because we care. We are totally and utterly invested. I would like to now call the Director of Community Rehabilitation, Ms. Lisa Hilmelis, who will offer remarks in respect of Ms. Sophia Wilson-Leslie.
Protocol having been established, good evening, everyone. I have the pleasure of introducing Mrs. Sophia Wilson-Leslie to you this evening. Sophia is normally a very private person and who is very happy and content working in the background. So I think this is a great opportunity for us to highlight the incredible person that she is and all that she has contributed to the Department of Community Rehabilitation, the Cayman Islands government, and the people of the Cayman Islands. In 2017, the department embarked on a new project to offer gender-specific services to female offenders. Based on the vision of the previous director, Ms. Teresa Echenique, and with the full support from the Ministry of Financial Services and Home Affairs. Sophia was selected to champion the new female empowerment team after a few years of research was conducted by her and some of her colleagues. The services offered by this team have been driven by an internationally recognized risk assessment tool, as well as researching international best practice to identify how best to serve this population of offenders who have very unique needs. Sophia's current role is as a probation officer on the female empowerment team, where she works passionately with DCR's female offenders under the supervision of Mrs. Sonia Wallace, Senior Probation Officer. I will briefly share with you about 4 of the initiatives that Sophia has been responsible for implementing, coordinating, and facilitating. First, our Inspired Woman Empowered workshops, which have been offered both in the women's prison and in the community. Topics have included successfully managing a small business and overcoming trauma. This has been done in partnership with the public and private sector. Secondly, a mentorship program that is being offered in the women's prison in partnership and with full support of the Director of Prisons, Mr. Stephen Barrett, and his team. Thirdly, our lunch hour group supervision sessions that focus on empowering topics such as goal setting. A session recently was conducted in partnership with none other than our Tara Bush, who's here tonight, as we know. And lastly, psychoeducational programs for women in the areas of anger management and healthy relationships in partnership with her DCR colleagues, both in the prison and in the community. Of all the roles that Sophia has had in our department during the 9 years with us, this by far is the most fitting for her. I can think of no better person to empower our female offenders. Sophia is a strong, compassionate, and caring woman and an excellent role model. What truly makes Sophia's work world-class is her willingness to go above and beyond, especially as she works individually with these women, delicately and sensitively helping them to identify problematic areas in their lives and giving them an opportunity to build on their skills so they can better cope with life's challenges and become more productive citizens in our community. She is committed to making lives better through her work with female offenders, and she is having a tremendous impact on the rehabilitation process for many women, and in turn, having a major impact on public safety. Sophia, I know that I speak on behalf of our colleagues at the Department of Community Rehabilitation, who I know some are here with you tonight, and our Chief Officer, Dr. Bazdeo, and his team in the ministry who supported the nomination, when I say we are extremely proud of you and the work that you have done to push this new initiative forward. Ladies and gentlemen, Sophia Wilson-Leslie.
My name is Sophia Wilson-Leslie. I'm a probation officer of 20 years, and I'm presently assigned to the Department of Community Rehabilitation. I am presently a member of the Female Empowerment Service team, and I was actually mandated by the Portfolio of Internal and External Affairs to be a part of the Female Empowerment Services pilot project. And as such, we were able to implement a number of programs within the community and within the prison. What has made the Department of Community Rehabilitation and the Female Empowerment Services program world-class is that we were able to conduct research using the risk needs assessment instrument that is used internationally and we're able to collate data and to use that as guide to form programs. So we have continued to be world-class because we have continued to get additional training. So present to the Department of Community Rehabilitation, we are undertaking the Changes Program, which is a cognitive behavioral model to address the needs of our clients. And that it is not specific to gender, but it can also be utilized in that area. We continue to offer world-class services because we have not just started program within the prison or the community. We have continued to see how is it we can develop and what is it we have at this point in time. Our intention is to start the Art of Happiness program for females within the prison and the community. And as such, we are using a holistic approach. So continue to make the Cayman Islands a safer place for us to live and for us to create productive citizens of this society.
Thank you very much, Ms. Wilson Leslie, for helping out the women of the Cayman Islands and for inspiring us all to do our job to help, people actualize, to become the best that they can be. I would now like to call again, once more, no, not Mr. Howell, on Deputy Chief Officer in the Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, Ms. Tamara E. Banks, who will offer remarks in respect of Mr. Rajkumar Singh. And Mr. Rajkumar Singh, I believe, is one of the managers who has been nominated through the changes in the categories. Come on.
Protocol having been established. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinct pleasure to be here this evening to introduce Ryan, who's the Director of the Department of Commerce and Investment, who was recognized as Employee of the Month for September 2018 for developing exceptional leadership. Ryan was nominated by his team in the department and is the first head of department to receive an Employee of the Month award since the inception of the Deputy Governor's Awards program in 2012. Ryan is a strong, innovative, and dynamic leader who believes in challenging his employees. Known for his exceptional leadership and a shared vision for the department's future that aligns with the Deputy Governor's goal to be world-class civil service, Ryan has made a commitment to focus on developing exceptional leaders through job enrichment. He does this by meeting with each member of his team to discuss their learning path and identifying a competency they wish to develop. His commitment to support and provide formal training and other resources for staff to achieve success is just one of the in many ways Ryan continues to demonstrate and fulfill his commitment to developing world-class leaders within the civil service. Having worked very closely with Ryan and his team, I am extremely proud of their accomplishments. The department was recently named the top employer for medium-sized businesses and received the Award for Excellence in Office Environment at the 9th Annual Cayman Islands Society for Human Resource Professionals Award Gala. The department has demonstrated high levels of employee engagement and positive organizational culture where employees trust the people they work for, have pride in what they do, and enjoy the people they work with. In addition to the department being given this recognition, Ryan also earned the award for Head of Department of the Year in the Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure for 2018. He was chosen by his peers for this award in the past year. Ryan, I would like to offer my congratulations and to thank you for your continued commitment to your department and your team, and most importantly, to the Cayman Islands government, and I wish you the best of luck this evening.
So DCI has some of the highest engagement scores in the government. And one of the reasons for that is a team. It's not about me, it's about a team. It's about having the right people in the right places, doing the right jobs. So the idea here is to have productive people, but in order to have productive people, each person must be happy. So what we do in DCI, my job is really easy. My job is just to motivate and to keep you as happy as possible. We at the Department of Commerce and Investment, we have a simple purpose, and that is using technology to make the lives of our citizens better, following on from the DG's motto. But also we innovate in our department. We use every possible means to innovate, whether it's from filling out a form, whether it's doing something in the IT system, it's all about innovation. So us at DCI will continuously innovate to make the lives of our citizens better by producing more, having faster results, quicker turnaround times. We're all about doing more. So to be the DG's winner, it was amazing, first of all. When the DG walked in on an impromptu staff meeting, I was caught totally surprised. I had no idea that this was going to happen. The DG made the announcement and I was still shocked. Up until this day, I'm still shocked about it. What I did appreciate and has gone over extremely well with my staff was the nomination. I felt honored. I felt totally what someone can feel in terms of being nominated for this award. It was amazing, it really was, and I would really like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for this nomination and for making me Employee of the Month for the month of September.
Thank you, Ryan, for being an example to us managers, to be there to motivate and inspire. And as you say, it's our job to help people find the right place in the workplace, because that's when they can be productive. I'd like to now call on Chief Officer Strand Bodden, who will now offer remarks with excuse me, on behalf of Mr. Wesrol Nayak.
Good evening, world-class civil service.
Good evening.
Protocol having been established, I'd just like to add my welcome to His Excellency, Mr. Martin Roper, and his lovely wife. Your Excellency, thank you for being with us tonight as we recognize our superstars. I have been given the distinct privilege of introducing the DG's Employee of the Month recipient for October 2018, Mr. Wesrol West Nayak, a technical support analyst with the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism. That was only actually correct up until very recently, because my superstar was just promoted to support administrator. Right. West was nominated for the DG's award by his direct line manager, Mr. Todd Twin, due to his exemplary demonstration of CIG's core values, passion, integrity, and professionalism, and our strategic goal of delivering an outstanding customer service and experience. Wes is known to consistently go above and beyond his job description to ensure the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism and its staff have the required services and tools to succeed in their mission. Wes is not to be satisfied with the status quo at all. He always seeks to find ways to make information services processes more efficient to streamline the work of the business. Wes exhibits a keen sense of integrity. He is honest and demonstrates open communication with both the information services team and his customers, while treating everyone with the same respect regardless of seniority within the organization. Due to the nature of his role, Wes faces difficult situations on a regular basis. Despite this, he works hard to provide the best service possible to his clients to find a solution while making each customer feel important and that their issue was a priority. Wes always ensures client satisfaction. As the Department of Tourism operates on an international level with offices in the United Kingdom, Canada, and the United States, the information services team must support customers across multiple time zones. Wes is known to handle most emails from the overseas offices several hours earlier than his usually daily start time and makes himself available day and night on weekends and public holidays to ensure the tourism offices are supported effectively. Wes is most definitely a team player. Through Wes's commitment to deliver superior customer service to both internal customers and external vendors, Wes demonstrates the epitome of our CIG strategic goal to deliver an outstanding customer experience. Wes is truly deserving of being chosen as the DG's Employee of the Month in October 2018, and it is my sincere pleasure to introduce him as a candidate for the 2018 Employee of the Year Award. Good luck, Wes.
I was shocked, to be honest. I wasn't expecting any kind of praise, reward. As I say, I just here to work. Happy that they recognize my work efforts, but I'm here just to do my job. We have more internal clients versus external clients. Well, we do have external clients, but internal clients is co-workers, as you know them. So, you know, we get tickets all the time, daily. Issue here, maybe something simple, maybe something complex, maybe something with servers, the network. So it could range from an easy day to a very hard day. But how we engage, you know, try to be very understanding, reasonable. So you have to kind of like approach them and be like, okay, don't worry, we got this, we'll sort it out for you, don't worry, no stress. You know, make them feel at ease. So technical support ranges. You have to be versatile and basically able to help someone out, even though it may be their worst day and it may be a bad day for you, but you can't show that to them. World class, technical support team, IT team, you know, you need to be able to be positive and be also a quick thinker, critical thinker, and always able to jump on anything that may arise, as these days things come up all of a sudden you don't plan for. Many times you just need to be able to get on it and deal with it no matter what's going on. So prioritizing is an essential key in this role. A world-class IT team, technical support team is critical to the overall success and development of any government.
Thank you, Wes. And I just got a little nugget from the Chief Officer that Wes is a very new civil servant. So not only welcome to the civil service, but thank you for doing such an outstanding job in your very early years with us and for bringing something to the organization. I will be set. So I now welcome Chief Information Officer Suzette E. Banks, who will offer remarks in respect of employee Stefan Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so proud to be here tonight to introduce our first Employee of the Month, videographer Stefan Johnson. Since joining us 7.5 years ago, Stefan's name has become a byword in the civil service for visual excellence and amazing customer service. A trained graphic designer who works as a videographer, he routinely puts his amazingly talented eyes and hands to use, producing moments of magic, 11 of which you're seeing tonight. His relentless efficiency makes him a friend to clients with tight turnaround times. In fact, all of us with tight turnaround times. And despite the staggering workload that he often deals with, he remains an absolute pleasure to work with throughout and a model to us all. Thank you.
World class, that's a word, you know, that definitely signifies high quality. I do believe we are already producing world-class content in the government information services, especially in the video production side of it. I can't take full credit for everything when it comes to creativity because we work as a team in our unit. I do believe I have contributed in this manner based on my creativity, but mostly is corresponding and communicating with our clients. I'm a video production specialist for the government information services. My job entails quite a few things pertaining to creativity, but I prefer to do things in an animated role. A lot of folks may know to create videos, but it has to be pleasant to the eye. Pertaining to creativity in my field, with a graphic design background, I feel I'm able to get across what a client needs or what a client wants. A lot of clients sometimes don't know exactly what things are going to look at the end result, so I take time to sit with the client, get a good feedback from them, and then display it on the screen. And this process has to be done in a very creative way. That's why we are the video production specialist, and we have to ensure that the client get a product that when the audience see it, their audience see it, it's not just captivating, but they can understand what they're actually viewing. The GIS team is something else. So they set up a communication meeting, which wasn't really a communication meeting. They actually lied about it. So I stepped in the room and saw, folks waiting to get this meeting started, and lo and behold, I see the DG is inside here, and I see a few more folks that's not in GIS. I'm like, what's happening here? So the announcement happened, and Stefan, you awarded this award, Employee of the Month. I was shocked. Reason why I was shocked, because there's so many hard workers in GIS. I think we all deserve to be the Employee of the Month. The feeling was great, but I do know that there are others that are also deserving of this award.
Stefan, thank you for making us look professional. I would now call upon my esteemed colleague, Mr. Wesley Howell. You notice I'm not making any jokes this time, this is serious. Who will offer remarks for the last nominee, Mr. Stafford Millwood.
Thank you again. I'll start by saying that 3 of the nominees tonight came from nominations from the Immigration Department. Mr. Bruce Smith was the acting immigration officer during that time. He's actually on sick leave, otherwise he would be here tonight to celebrate with his team, so remember him as we go through the evening. At the going away luncheon for our Director of Public Prosecutions, I made a comment that I was driving home one evening and saw the Chief Magistrate driving in her vehicle next to me in traffic with her windows down with seemingly no care in the world, and this woman has put more people in prison than I can count, right? And I said to her, I said, that struck me, and the Director of Public Prosecutions turned around and said, that's because of the great work that your people do within the law enforcement community. So Mr. Millwood is one of those people who allows us to drive home with our windows down and not have to worry about what's going on. He served in the Joint Marine Unit, so he was out on the seas protecting our borders as an immigration officer. Returned back to the immigration and enforcement, so he's one of the guys that's usually dressed in black fatigues, very imposing, combat boots on, handcuffs on his waist. But his job is to go out and find folks who are breaking our laws, and also an important part of his work is actually removing people from our shores who mean us no good. Typically those are folks coming out of prison, and it's a logistic hurdle to get through their timing from release in prison, temporary holding, arranging flights out, getting permission to return in some cases, organizing officers for early morning flights and all those. So when I got Stafford's nomination, again I looked at his title and it was Immigration Officer. So there's Immigration Officer, Senior Immigration Officer, Inspector, Assistant Chief Immigration Officer, Deputy Chief Immigration Officer, and then Immigration Officer. So here's somebody near the bottom of this list of seniority who is doing some exceptional work and delivering customer service, even to those that he has handcuffs on. So, so again, it was my pleasure to recognize him for the Employee of the Month for December. His work has been recognized by even the captains on Cayman areas as he kept those persons who could be unruly under control and made it safe. As the DG does when he prays, he always says a special prayer for those in uniform that they return safe to their families. And here's an officer whose work takes him away from his family, sometimes away from our shores on a regular basis. So it's my pleasure to recognize and support the Employee of the Year for Mr. Stafford. Thank you.
My job is awesome, man. So much to do. I've been doing it for the past 18 years. I've been with the department for 20 years, and just a passion of what I do. I mean, just to meet people, just to know that I can interact in their lives, some for the good, some for the bad, but it's a part of it. And I really like the team that I'm working with, so majority of it is pure teamwork. So the work we do makes our work class is that we're efficient and tightening up on our borders. Yet still, we ensure that, you know, we protect our Cayman people, we protect our own, we protect our islands, and to ensure that we doing so and with a sturdy hand, right? And compared to other countries out there that still having issues on that side, border side, to us, to me, this is what makes us a world class, and we continue to provide that service to our Cayman Islands people. For my fellow customs officers out there, I would say, is this your passion? You know, continue to reach beyond the stars, continue to push, continue to work hard. Even though at times it might not seem it has been going unnoticed, but there is some order that is always watching and looking out and always saying that, you know, he's doing a good job by the end of the day. So reach for the stars, keep pushing, always have a clear mind, clear conscience, and I would urge you that, you know, you continue to strive to the best, not just for yourself, but for the whole entire department, and to ensure that the islands are, you know, well protected. If I had to do it all over again, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Okay, so for all of their excellent work, I understand that all of the nominees got the day off. So I can only imagine what they spent the day doing. Now, these are very type A personalities, so I'm pretty sure some of them were actually working, answering calls, but I really do hope that you had time to enjoy the day, be pampered, get your hair done, spend time with your kids, and you know, it's a beautiful day to go to the beach. So Chad, or were you on the boat? At this point in the proceedings, I would now like to invite His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper, to come forward to make a presentation of the beautiful Caymanite catboats, which were handcrafted by our very own local, I don't want to say own local, outstandingly talented artist, Mr. Horatio Esteban. Thank you, Your Excellency. Oh, I understand Levi may not be here because he is here. I was going to say I know he was injured, so come on, Levi. I know you do it really quick. Yes. Congratulations, Levi. Congratulations. Next, we would like to call Ms. Shanda Reed. I would also like to now call Ms. Sasha Rankin to the stage to receive her award. I'm asking all of the awardees to stand at the back because we're going to take a picture afterwards. I would like to call Ms. Mitzi Watson-Jervis to receive her award. in the Department of Commerce and Investment. Ms. Shushan O'Connor to receive her award. Ms. Carol Best Gold. I'd like to call Mr. Chad Bush. I would now like to call Ms. Sophia Wilson Leslie from the Probation Department. I'd now like to call Mr. Ryan Rajkumar Singh from DCI. I'd like to call Mr. Wes Roll Nayak from Tourism. I'd like to call Mr. Stefan Johnson from the GIS department. And I'd like to call Mr. Stafford Millwood from the Immigration Department. Ladies and gentlemen, I present our 12 awardees and nominees for the Employee of the Year Award. Please give them a tremendous round of applause. So if we can probably come up front, and then we get a picture of you all. The Chief Officer from the Portfolio of the Civil Service, Ms. Gloria Macfield-Nixon, to come to the stage to announce the Employee of the Year. I have to say that I have been provided with such a lot of information and wonderful, wonderful notes. I'm not doing this all by myself. It's all been scripted for me. So thank you all so much, Tara, and your group. This is Mrs. Macfield-Nixon.
Thank you. Are you okay? You want a chair? No. You sure? Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm in HR. I'm constantly looking to take care of our people. So what an incredible night. And I would first, before we get too busy, I just want to say, please give a round of applause to our Master of Ceremonies who took this on amongst everything else that she's doing. Chief Officer Bothwell, among other things today, also led a retreat for her team. So she went straight from leading her team's retreat to coming here to make sure that we were able to celebrate excellence. Talking about going above and beyond, thank you so much. So if you know our Deputy Governor, you know he's always amazing and wonderful and terrific. But there is a certain time of year when he gets a little cranky. Sorry, sir, I'm letting your secret out now. He has a really hard time of trying to figure out, among so much excellence, how do you choose just one winner? And as we have seen tonight, we can understand why that is difficult, because we have 12 exceptional winners standing before us. Any organization would be blessed to have just one of these individuals. And here we are having 12 of these individuals and the many other Chief Officer Choice winners that we've also recognized earlier tonight. I mean, the commitment of these individuals, and when you think about the ranks they're going to join, and we talked about our past recipients, Mr. Nicholas McLean, Miss Venice Tatum, Miss Gidget Powell, Mr. Philbert McFarland, and our Wonder Team, Miss Aubrey Bodden and Miss Tristica Ebanks. And I mean, I was near tears when Tristica spoke earlier this evening. You're talking about the passion that really exemplifies what these individuals are all about. And as our MC talked about, you also are hearing about these common threads of professionalism. Every one of these individuals standing on the stage tonight, the thing that we can say that is so much in common about them is they know their job and they do it exceptionally well. Such diverse roles and yet such excellence. So many different ways of contributing to making lives better, and yet each of them so vital to what we're trying to achieve. There's a lot going on here. I mean, I'm looking at Ryan, and Ryan is on stage not only for himself, but he's also nominating other members of staff. We've got Chad here, and Chad, I'm sorry, this is a family affair now because his sister stood on the stage just last year as an amazing member of our internal audit team. This is what we're talking about in terms of really creating a culture of excellence. And when we talk about the different ways that you individuals have really just gone above and beyond, when you're talking about securing turtles by day and by night, or securing our borders to make sure that people who mean us no well, that we are able to treat them with respect, even as we make sure that we protect our borders and that people are able to drive home with comfort. When we talk about the ways that we're trying to help both people who are working in our community to make sure that they are getting their fair wages, and then we're talking about ways that we're helping our own civil servants to make sure that they get fair wages because we're properly evaluating their roles. When we're talking about all the things that we're doing to make sure that we can help women who have been imprisoned to break that cycle of recidivism so that they're able to come back as productive members of our society. Or if we're talking about the things, the unsung heroes who behind the scenes are supporting teams in multiple time zones, making sure that the work continues and that we're able to create these moments of magic across our tourism product. Or the gentleman who we all have come to call upon, who manages to make us, as our MC said, all look so professional and good. We really appreciate that, Stefan. Thank you so very much. I know you got to work with what you're given. But you do an amazing job. So many amazing individuals. So how do you choose just one? When the deputy governor is looking at how he does this, he starts off by looking at the nominations. And these nominations, as we've said this year, have been changed. Before, these nominations could only come from leaders, from people and heads of department and above. And this year, we've allowed every member of our team, because as the governor has said, we're all leaders. Every member of our team can make a nomination, and that has allowed us to also open up the opportunity for our heads of department to be nominated as well. So he's looking at those nominations, and those nominations first go to chief officers to choose who will represent their ministry or portfolio for that month. And that individual gets a Chief Officer's Choice Award, and they get $200, a token of our appreciation. But they get to go forward so that all senior leaders may receive the nominations from around the civil service to choose our employee of the year, of the month. And that employee of the month has the endorsement of our senior leadership team. And they get $500, so they've got $700 cash, so it's a little bigger token of appreciation. But then they move forward to be considered in ceremonies like we've had tonight for our Civil Servant of the Year, Employee of the Year. And that's when the difficult decision passes on to the Deputy Governor, who gets a little grumpy. Because with so much excellence, how do you choose? So he looks at those nominations and he looks at the experience when he goes into the department. How have those nominations been received when persons are being nominated? And then he looks at the humility, because it is one thing to be professional, but being someone of integrity and being someone who is passionate about making lives better, you also recognize the team around you that helps make you great. And these individuals do that in spades. So that doesn't really narrow it down too much for him. I mean, he's really difficult around this time of year. So then he starts looking at what their performance has been like, and they're really good at their jobs. And then he listens to their words, them in their own words. What sort of passion and vision do they have? And it's with all of those things considered that he then comes to his decision. And it's kind of like the Oscars. There's a handful of people that get the information. I literally only get it the day of, and I just reached over to him and said, "Sir, I want to make sure that I got this right. I don't want to have one of these moments when I announce, you know, what was the see, I wasn't going to call him. I was going to call the wrong contestant. But I didn't want to have a Steve Harvey moment. Sorry, Mr. Harvey." And he looked at me and he's like, "Yeah, that's it, Glo. They are amazing people on this stage." And so the individual, when you talk about all the ways that they're contributing, the goals that they've been contributing to customer experience, and really being able to look at governance, and really being able to look at leadership, all of these amazing things. But the person that has the ability not only to lift up themselves, but to lift up others, has been something that has really stood out. And the person who in their nomination was described as being the most bestest of everything. The individual who is making lives better, giving people training that would enable them to earn a livelihood, and who has empowered others to be able to have that satisfaction, to be a part of making lives better, uplifting them as well in the process. The person who has brought a world-class apprenticeship program to his department, and in his caring has made sure that he has also brought better safety to his team and given them greater comfort. The person who is committed to talent development. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I introduce Civil Servant Employee of the Year, none other than Mr. Levi Allen.
Congratulations, Levi. Congratulations. May I offer you to come forward, please?
Congrats, man. Thank you so much.
I'll just give you the award.
Okay.
You all right?
Yes.
I'll just give you the award real quick. And then
Wow. Okay. Isn't it ironic that I'm responsible for safety and I've had 3 or 4 accidents over the past few months? I don't think I've ever been this nervous in my life. My job involves me speaking to large groups of people all the time, and yet here I am sweating, nervous. I mean, it's amazing. Thank you so much. This means the world to me, because oftentimes the work you do is out of your passion and your commitment, just as my colleagues here on the stage, and
you don't take time to recognize the impact you're making. And so this is significantly important. I would firstly want to thank the Lord. I have, recently made a recommitment of my life to God. And it means a lot to me because I've learned to depend on Him in times of adversity. And I want to thank my wife, who is standing in the wings. She has been my rock, even in times when I have not recognized it. I'd like to thank my kids who are here with me tonight, 2 beautiful women and 1 young man that runs our lives. I'd like to thank my friends, many of who are here on the platform and in the audience supporting me. I would like to recognize my fellow nominees who have been exceptional. Any one of you should have really been up here. So thank you so much for the work you do. And I've been rooting for a number of you. You heard me shouting your names. And I really want to thank you for the work you do. I'd like to thank my director, Max Jones, who has really given me the opportunity to implement a number of these initiatives. Leadership is something that we underestimate, and I've grown to respect him as a leader and thank him for his support and the opportunities he has allowed me. I'd like to thank his boss, Alan Jones, who has been patient with him when we come up with these harebrained schemes, and he has allowed us to get on with it. So thank you very much, Mr. Jones. I'd like to thank my colleagues at work. Most of the stuff I do is people-oriented, and it's difficult to get the job done without a strong team. And PWD has an exceptional group of talent. When I first visited PWD some 13 years ago as a consultant, I was told that PWD stands for Poor Working Dogs. But now, 13 years later, PWD is the Public Works Department that works proudly. And we are a team of formidable engineers, technicians, HR personnel, administrative staff, and just exceptional people. And we could not have done any of this without that teamwork. So go Team PWD. And I think before my leg gives out, I need to wrap up and say that being world-class means to me setting standards. And I must therefore thank the Deputy Governor, Mr. Francis Manderson, for leading from the front. He has been an exceptional leader, and his team of leaders have been also exceptional. I know I'm going to get some people upset by singling out, but I must also thank Miss Gloria McField-Nixon, who has been my personal mentor. She doesn't even know that she's my mentor, but she has been my mentor simply by the standards she has set and the example she has set for all of us as civil servants. Thank you very much, Miss Gloria. So being world-class means setting that standard and continuously improving on it at every opportunity. And that's what we've been doing in the civil service. We're not perfect, but we're continuously improving, showing that in these small islands, we're a force to reckon with. And I really feel proud standing here with my colleagues and being a part of this team and appreciating all the support you have given me in the beautiful Cayman Islands. Thank you.
Folks, before we wrap up, I want you to please also give a round of applause to Ms. Christine Wright, Ms. Gloria, Ms. Tara, all the people in POCS for putting on this real world-class event. Thank you, Ms. Gloria, for your leadership and your passion as well. Is there anything else to say, Ms. Bothwell? We'll just take some pictures.
Yes. I just wish to add that we want to, of course, thank all of the nominees and awardees. I hope that you will be able to tell your story. I know I would like to invite all of you all to come to my organization. It's 12 of you, so it's 12 months in the year. To come and share our stories, because that's what it's about. In closing, I'd just like to make special mention. I know we have our Cayman BRAC team here, and I want to say thank you for coming down, and thank you for being part of the World Class Initiative. I hear so much about Cayman BRAC. I was there a couple of weeks ago, and I was helped so kindly at the reception of the Government Administration Building. And every time I go to Cayman BRAC, I want to just move there. So I might have to come and get my passport stamped. But thank you. And we have people there who help us in judicial administration, and we value your assistance every single day because you make people's lives better. So I have the unenviable task of, I have a question. They stay up here or they leave? I think we can release it for a few minutes. So I have an unenviable task of thanking everyone, the Hartwell Theater for allowing us to use the venue, the RCIPS, Government Information Services, Caribbean Creations, Save the Day AI Rentals, Department of Agriculture, Horatio Esteban, Marvin Hurlston, Superstitch, for producing some of the awards, Island Art Framing, Hurley's, Cayman Spirits Company, Quick Images, staff of the portfolio of the Civil Service, and particularly Mr. Earl Lapierre and his UCCI Pandemics Mixed Steel Pan, who were excellent in their own right. And I would like to thank all of you, our attendees, for being here, for making this a special event. So I am wrapping up, and I will hand over. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to say that this concludes our program. We're going to be just taking some pictures with the winners this evening and handing out some further items here, but I know it's been a long evening. Thank you so very much for being here and being a part of tonight, and continue on our journey to being a world-class civil service. Thank you so much.